Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to all of their records and we rank them from worst to best. And this week we're doing Thrice. So we're gonna do all of their records plus their first impressions EP, and we're also gonna add in the Artist in the Ambulance revisited record. But before we do that, everybody go out there to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends how amazing we are. All the social media is at Asinine Radio, and my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. So normally we start this episode out as well with our 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge, but the last month or so has been way too easy, and this week is just as easy. So what's the point, honestly? So no 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge.
Well, some people may not know how easy it is.
I mean, okay, so it's Eddie Breckenridge from Thrice. The bass player, was also the bass player in Angels and Airwaves. Angels to Tom, easy peasy. That's how easy it is.
Well, Dustin toured with Chris Conley and from Days of Day, Matt Pryor from the Get Up Kids, right? And Chris Conley was on the same album as Tom, the Say Anything album.
Yeah.
Hebrews. So
weird,
it is easy, but
weird
this
song
is not.
too.
Other people may not think it was as easy as intellectual minds such as myself.
And myself.
You like how I left you out of that one?
I know what you did. I know. Fucking dick. All right. Hey, let's get into this. We got 13. We're ranking 13 different things. We're also splitting the Alchemy Index into 2 records because it was technically 2 separate releases. So let's start with your number 13, Jeff. And also your biggest banger or stinker if you got one. So what do you got? Go.
So they have a lot of worst albums, but the worst of the worst is Major Minor, their 8th album. Honestly, I only have one note. I have one line here. And I said, what the hell? I don't even remember listening to any of this. How fucking weird.
I
have no recollection of this whatsoever.
I totally get it.
Good or bad. I fucking have no idea what I listened to. Nothing.
All right, then. So no banger, nothing then.
No.
So let's get into my number 13. It's the Alchemy Index, Air and Earth.
You're what?
Air and Earth from 2008.
What?
There's only one song on here that actually stands out, and it's The Sky Is Falling, which is my banger off of it, but it's a cover. And otherwise this album is just boring. I mean, I've listened to this album a bunch of times and never has it stood out to me ever. So I just have nothing else on Air and Earth because it's just straight up boring, just boring stuff.
Wow.
So what do you got for 12?
That's we're starting already. Okay,
we're starting already. Baby.
All right, there we go. Here's we get into like Tyler's favorite era of Thrice is Palms. Palms is my number 12. Huh? Yeah, Palms is trash, dude. This album starts off solid. Like I like the way he sings in the first couple of songs. The music is fine, a little heavy, still kind of ambient, but like it just seriously turns into a fucking church band playing the most generic garbage I've ever heard.
Church band.
So like next door to my house, there's a church, and it's a nice fucking church. I can't remember what it's called, but I went over there one time to do. I can't remember what I was over there for. But it just so happened that when I was there, they were filming a music video, a live performance of their band. And they're like, yeah, it's $5, covered. It goes to the community. I was like, fuck yeah, $5 to see a band play? Of course I'm going to pay for that. So I go in and I stand kind of in the back, and they give me like a sticker and like a goodie bag. And I'm like, damn, that was well worth $5. I wish there was beer. But then the band started playing. And I was like, yep, this is it.
I want to go home. Home.
This is a fucking church band. Yeah. This is garbage. This is awful. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand like why all these like Christian rock bands have to just do the most generic fucking thing possible. And Palms
big open chords. everybody sings the same way, the same tempo.
Everyone has to have a chance to sing. Everyone has a chance to like be in the limelight. We got to praise God at some point. Maybe not like directly like with lyrics, but like everyone's raising their hands up. Everyone's standing up in their chairs. Like it's just ugh.
Did the drummer have the plexiglass around it?
He did. He fucking did.
Yes.
He fucking did. And he was all the way in the back too.
Was the bass player playing a 5 or 6 string bass too?
There was one bass player, there was 2 guitar players, and there was an acoustic guitar players. There was like male vocalists and 2 female vocalists. And over the course of the show,
it's always 2 electric and 1 acoustic, and they all play the same chords.
Always. And I stayed for the whole show. I stayed for the whole show. I will say, I stayed for the whole show just because I was. There was cool stuff here and there, but overall it was trash. But everybody got their chance to sing. Like all 3 vocalists, they all got their time to like Michael, it's your turn to go to the front now. And he walked up and then did his like thing. And, they're all cool and they all have tattoos and like contemporary haircuts. And it's like, man, you guys suck, dude. Fuck this. But then I thought in my mind, I was like, damn, dude, because it's a nice church, really nice recording equipment. I was like, I wonder if I could play drums for your church band. Because I know I'm just as good as that guy. I'm not great at drums, but I know I'm just as good as you.
Just get behind that plexiglass.
I know. That's it. That's right, though. Yeah, Palms. Trash album. Fucking trash.
Okay, my number 12 is Major Minor from 2011. This is the last record they put out before they broke up. And this is definitely the first record where you hear that worship sound come in. I mean, at this point, Dustin was full-blown worship. And the reason why the band broke up was because he moved up to Seattle to be a preacher. And which ended up, blowing up in his face. But Major Minor. I mean, really, the only song that stands out to me is Yellow Belly, the opening track, which was actually the single as well. And it's just the only reason why that stands out is because that riff is pretty heavy, and the guitar tone is fucking gritty and gross sounding, and that part is great. But otherwise, the record is forgettable. I mean, it really is forgettable. I don't have this on vinyl. No intention on getting it on vinyl. So Major Minor is my number 12. What do you got for 11?
All right. Well, at least you hate that one. I can't believe All Communion Next, that part is so low. That's okay. Here we go. Another one. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Just all right. Honestly, this is not a ton different than Palms. Some approach, like same approach, same style. The later songs were a bit more eclectic and kind of like Radiohead-esque in how it droned on. It's kind of cool, I guess. But overall, this was just, I don't know, dumb. Again, I don't care. It was dumb. I did like Salt and Shadow, not because the song was good, but because, again,
it's Kevin's screen name.
Yeah, I don't want to throw any names down, but friend of the pod, one of their monikers handles is Salt and Shadow, and I think the first time we did Thrice, that's when I realized it, and it was kind of like, oh, that's where it's from.
Yeah, like all of his tattoos are all Thrice too. All of his tattoos. The one on his back, the ones on his shoulder, his chest, all Thrice.
Oy. Oy.
And it's so funny because he's such an atheist too. and the one that's on his chest is very biblical too, and he knows it. But it's just the irony of it. This giant atheist getting all these Christian themed tattoos. So yeah, my number 11 is To Be Everywhere is to Be Nowhere. Oof. From 2016. This one it still has that worship sound to it. The band just got back together at this point after everything blew up in Dustin's face, and he had already put out like some worship records, solo records. So obviously that's going to bleed into into Thrice's music, and it did. It really did on this one. But this one has always been ranked my least favorite. So when I was listening to it, I thought, oh, there's some cool moments here. It's really not as bad as I remembered. But even still, I'm never really going to go back to it unless we do Thrice again on the pod. I'm never going to get it on vinyl. I think even like Rise Records had it on sale recently for like $12 for the vinyl.
Not worth it.
Nah, not going to do it.
Although you bought 2 copies of Bodies, so I don't know.
I also bought 2 copies of Horizons East, but
oh god,
by accident. Anyway, let's get into your number 10. What do you got?
Horizons East, dude.
Horizons East, bro.
2021. This. All right. So here we go, bro. Here we go. You ready?
Okay.
At this point, Thrice just sounds like the fucking Deftones. Ambient noise, busy drums, weird guitar chords that are just overly verbed up, and then like the high lead parts. This is just bad Deftones. And I fucking don't even like the Deftones. This is bad Deftones. Dustin sounds like he's just always exhaling in a lazy way. Like his vocals, the way he does it. He's like,
that's a good way of explaining it.
It's like, why am I here if you don't want to be here? Why am I listening to this shit? This wasn't like their worst output, but I definitely think this is just fucking, like, this is dumb, dude. Like, this band is dumb at this point. Still Life was the closest I came to enjoying myself on this one. And that's just because it was driven by a cool bass line. But this entire, like, starting from like the preachy stuff, from the real church band era sounding Thrice, they became the Deftones, like the worst of the Deftones.
Worst of the Deftones.
I would rather I would rather listen to my least ranked Deftones over Horizon Z. My number 10, basically Horizon Z's To Be Everywhere, Palms, and Major Minor. I would rather listen to like White Pony or Diamond Eyes over any of those Thrice albums.
Okay,
I don't fucking like White Pony.
You'll eventually like it. You'll eventually like Deftones.
Yeah.
All right, my number 10 is Palms from 2018. I still think this is a good record. I may purge it at some point, but I mean I got it for so cheap. It's just like
was it
I
free?
still like it. No, it wasn't free. It wasn't,
but it wasn't cheap. So cheap. That's the only acceptable price that you should have picked that record up for.
If it was free.
And even then, it's questionable.
But no, I do like this record. There is like one worshipy sounding song, and I can't even remember the name of it right now. But that song sucks. But there's some bangers, like Branch in the River is a banger. Hold Up the Light, the two heavier songs on the record. But I do like how this song also starts out with like that Stranger Things kind of electronic thing, and they're finally getting back to some form of experimentation on this record. Not to say it was done super well, but I mean they're kind of getting back into it, and it's not a bad record. Like I said, I do have it on vinyl, and I don't know if I'll purge it, but we'll see. But yeah, Palms is my number 10. So what do you got for number 9?
All right, Beggars my number 9. I don't have a lot of negative things to say. I think this is just middle. This is good middle ground Thrice. I don't think he sounds like he's trying to lead a church band. He doesn't sound like he's opening some stagecoach fucking thing, because sometimes he can sound pretty like pop country-ish.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's good music that isn't over the top like Horizons, but they do sound better. And so Beggars, I don't hate this album. I don't like this album. I think this is just middle ground. I don't have anything negative to say really about it. It's just everything else I think is a lot better than this.
Okay, you're wrong, but okay. My number 9 then is Horizons East, their newest record from 2021. This record's actually grown on me too. I really didn't like it at first, but this week I listened to all the records twice this week, or over the last 2 weeks, I should say. And this one did grow on me. I agree with you. It's a little bit more atmospheric. Riley is always kind of busy on the drums, which is good. I mean, he's a good drummer, and he has kind of his unique style sometimes, and that's cool. But also I agree with you with Dustin, like the airy vocals, the kind of round sounds that he makes with it. That's the only way I could kind of explain that kind of vocal style. Like, it sounds very round, and that's kind of what he does. I think at this point they've pretty much ditched all of the worship sound, and it makes for a better listen. So yeah, Horizons East, definitely not their best. I do have this on vinyl, and mine comes with some 3D glasses, because all the cover art is 3D, so it comes with those glasses too.
No, that makes sense. I would include 3D glasses too on my record if it sounded like shit.
But guess what? Oh, I almost blew. Oh, okay, never mind. I almost blew something. Anyway, so what do you got for number 8?
The Artist in the Ambulance. Revisited.
No. Okay, you fucking idiot. I was going to
Revisited.
Say, you're the biggest fucking moron in the world if you put artist this low. Oh my God.
Revisited.
You fucking asshole.
Got him.
Jesus Christ. You did get me. You got me.
Dude, this is just like too far gone from the masterpiece we got. And I listened to these back to back. I listened to this one first, and then I listened to the other one second because I went backwards.
Yeah.
But I did listen to these back to back because I wanted to make a point to say, okay, how could you make this better? And they do. There's so much more nuance in the original one, and there's too much of new Thrice in this over like the old Thrice sound, and it just didn't hit home. And that's to be expected because this is a remix album. This is another thing they're doing
and
already.
It's 20 years later.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I'm not knocking it for that because like you can't beat the original because it's the fucking original. Like, how are you gonna make it bigger? So I don't have a banger on this. I don't think it's bad. I think this is great. If people get into Thrice because of this album, that's fucking amazing. And then they get into, the original version of Artist in the Ambulance. But this is not as good, clearly.
We'll see. We'll see where it sits in my rankings. Full of surprises.
Already stupid surprises.
So my number 8 is, this is where I'm going to put First Impressions, their first EP from 1999. So it's this is a collection of 7 songs, one of which was re-recorded for Identity Crisis. The other ones have never been touched since Identity Crisis came out. The band hates this EP. It's not on any of the streaming sites outside of YouTube because people have uploaded it. Every band member hates it. They get upset if you bring it up. I got a talking to by one of the members for bringing it up once. He was upset about it, and they're very fussy. They're very fussy men sometimes. But I like First Impressions. It's like a good like prototype for what they were to become on Identity Crisis and Illusion. And this EP is way more skate punk than anything that they've ever done. Much in the vein of like no effects, like fast no effects, like stuff off of White Trash or stuff off of like So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes, just like that fast stuff. And it's they're good songs. They are really good songs. And Riley absolutely rips it up on the drums. Considering how fast he's playing and how fast these songs are, has some incredible fills on this thing. It's busy, but it's good. And I know I've heard him say in interviews, like, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just writing parts rather than songs, which to me, I think is their downfall. But, yeah, I don't know. I think First Impressions it's a solid EP for what this band became over the following 3-4 years. So, I have no complaints about First Impressions. It's rad. I would get it on vinyls, but they only ever made like 1,000 copies of it on CD. So if you actually have an OG copy of this, they go for, I think, a couple $100.
Ooh, for the CD?
It's pretty insane. For a CD, yeah.
Crazy.
So, and they were kids, they were like 18, 19 years old. They had no money. So they actually got a loan from Dustin's dad. He funded it and to make the first and only pressing of First Impressions. So, yeah, there you go. And I mean, if I had to pick a banger, it would be Opaque. It's just, but they're all the songs are kind of the same, except for TNC. TNC is its own thing, and it's incredible. But anyway, let's move on. All what do you got for your number 7?
Mine is First Impressions.
Okay.
I just kind of like skimmed through this, so take that for what you will. But I thought this was super fun. It was a cute EP. I agree. Like, this is a band that sounds like they're writing parts because everybody's doing the same thing except for Riley. It's like yeah. It's like everybody wrote the music and they had Riley put the drum part to it, and then he just Travis Barkered it. He's so fucking fast. He's doing something. He's like the Travis Barker and Enema to their everybody else that is going on. Like he's light years beyond. And I never realized until I listened to it tonight. Like the guy is like really, really fucking good at the drums.
He is.
And he never really shows that because he's always writing with the band, which makes for better music in general. Like I'd rather listen to a good cohesive album than I would just a guy ripping it up on the drums. But he never really shows like how great he is at the drums throughout their career, I don't think.
He doesn't. I think his best performances are on their first 3 records. After that, he slows it down a lot. I mean, not to say that they're bad drum performances or songwriting at all. It's just it's a completely different approach after the first 3 records.
He can
once you hit Visu, it's so different.
He goes from like the fast skate punk thing and then immediately drops into like a halftime drum beat, whereas everybody else is still doing the same thing, and then he'll kick it right back up and not lose like any momentum whatsoever.
Yeah,
like it was.
You're right.
It was solid, but like
and you hear it all over Identity Crisis too. which
Yeah,
we'll get into.
it's unfocused and unpolished. So it's an EP. That's where I put it.
I just wish they would acknowledge it more and like appreciate it more. Come on, guys, just put it on streaming sites. If anything, remaster it. I don't care. Just fucking put it somewhere.
If you don't like your music, then laugh about it. Be like, yeah, dude, we're not gonna play any of that shit because we all fucking hate it. But like, giggle about it. Like, don't be a Davey Havoc about it. Acknowledge it. Say you're not gonna do it. Laugh about it. Move on. Who cares?
Oh, that's so good. All right. Okay, so that was your 7, correct? Yes, 7.
Yeah, 7.
My 7 is The Illusion of Safety from 2002. I do love this record.
High. Wow.
Yeah, so I do love Illusion. I really, really do love this record. And the nostalgia behind it is absolutely insane. It's just, there are some songs and some parts on this record that are just like, why do that? Why are you stopping here? Why is there a clean moment here? Like there are parts where songs completely lose their momentum for no reason. It's not as focused as Identity Crisis. And I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that, but at this point, this is a band where they want to move on from Identity Crisis, get away from more of the thrashy stuff and make more actual songs rather than just parts and then put them together. But they hadn't quite found that flow yet, that style yet. So this is just a really strange transition for the band, and it shows. It really does. And like I said, I do love the record, but it has its, it's not bad moments, but questionable moments. But my banger right now is Red Death. Right smack dab in the middle of the track list. And it hits so fucking hard just right off the bat with those big heavy drum hits. And then just Tepe is just ripping it up the whole time. And then that bridge too is so fucking heavy, and it's so rad in its simplicity that it makes for a perfect song. I love Red Death. But Betrayal is a Symptom is another one. Kill Me Quickly, of course, the opener. Subtle Dagger. Fucking all bangers, man. So fucking good. So my number 7 is The Illusion of Safety. What do you got for number 6?
That's fine. Visu is my number 6. Their fourth album.
Is so low.
It's not that good. My biggest issue with this is how fast it dips into mediocrity. Like Image starts the album off and it's incredibly strong. But by the end of the album, it's honestly just a mess of noise and slow jams. Everything bled together and was just like a wasted attempt because there's for sure some really, really amazing parts here. There's amazing drum parts. There's some amazing guitar fills. There's some amazing melodies. It's just, it doesn't keep the attention that it starts off with. It just doesn't.
I don't disagree with you on that.
That's why it's so low. But yeah, That's it. That's my number 6.
All right. So my number 6 is Beggars. We're finally here. Beggars from 2009. Dude? From 2009. I have this on vinyl, of course. Cool tricolor, like was it red, yellow, and blue? And it's a cool variant, and it's a great record too. This is like they did Alchemy Index. They did all that crazy experimentation on Alchemy and also Visu. And then now at this point in their career, they wanted to create more of a rock record, but not like what they were like the thrashy punk stuff they were doing. They wanted to make more of an alt rock record. So they ditched all the crazy samplings and keyboards, synth, all that kind of stuff. They got into Tepe's garage and they just jammed it out. They just jammed this record out. That's how they wrote it. They wrote it very collaboratively, which they've always done, but they just did it in a garage. Nothing fancy, no fancy studios, nothing like that. They used Tepe's studio that he actually built the studio to just make records at this point for the band. And so they could keep everything entirely in-house and save a ton of money. And it just, his fucking recording studio was like in Tustin. He lived in Tustin here in Orange County.
Local.
And can you imagine just like driving down there or walking down the street and you hear fucking Thrice jamming in a garage? Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, not to this, but yeah, overall.
But, they're probably playing old songs too. You walk by and they're playing Image of the Invisible or, something off of Artist.
That would be cool.
Silhouette, like walking by and hearing them play Silhouette. big heavy riffs. Be fucking insane. Also at this point, they all kind of like started switching their instruments out to where, like, you know, instead of using like bigger, heavier guitars like Gibson SGs, which Dustin was known to use, like only Gibson SGs and Les Pauls and stuff like that, they all switched to like Telecasters. So because they wanted a higher, like a brighter tone to their music as well. So that's why there's also this huge transition in the sound, because they were ditching the heaviness so much that they switched out the guitars and amps and things like that. Got rid of the 5150s, you know, and all that kind of shit. But Beggars, I just like it because it's just a solid alt rock record. It's kind of has this like kind of lazy feel to it, but it's never not exciting. There's some great, like, honestly, amazing melodies on this entire record. I love how dry everything sounds. It's so different. It's so different with Thrice. You know, just like the three records, Visu, Alchemy, and then this, it doesn't even sound like the same band. And I love the band for that. And Beggars is just like the last great thing the band did. And my banger is In Exile. I think it's like right in the middle of the record too. It's a slower jam, but it's a constant beat that Riley throws down. Simple beat, but it drives the whole song. I love the vocal melodies in the chorus. It's just an amazing song. So Beggars is my number 6. I also have a ton of nostalgia with this one too.
That was a mouthful for sure. Beggars.
I know, because I really do like this record. I really love it. I really do.
Okay. I don't get it, but okay.
Okay, so what do you got for number 5?
That's all right. Number 5, The Illusion of Safety.
Okay.
I think that's about where I put it last time we did this.
I think so too.
Their second album, but this was a lot better than I remembered it being, and I really do love this record. It's pretty fucking good. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that's just insanely heavy and really fast, really intense. Like, they bring, I don't know, it's a perfect bridge between identity and artist, right? Like, it's like that perfect thing. They can do the Identity Crisis sound, but then do the more complex, like, Artist in the Ambulance type delivery. And this is it. So I get why I don't put it above the other two, because it's a mesh of both of those sounds. But, like, it's really good. I like it a lot. I really have nothing negative to say about it. If I ever saw like an OG pressing, now I'm like really snobby about buying vinyls. But if I ever saw like an OG pressing, I'd for sure buy this. I wouldn't even matter how much it would cost, because this is good and it's cohesive and it tells like a story from beginning to end, and like everything meshes really well together. I like it. Bettsville Crucible, dude, fantastic fucking closer. It's over 4 minutes. It kind of did that jam thing a bit and droned on, but it never got dull, never got predictable. And I don't know. That was really like the start of their really good closers, which TNC is a great closer. It's a great closer.
It's their best closer.
Predictable, though. It's predictable.
I don't care. I don't care if it's predictable or
predictable.
not. Who cares?
Well,
it's an amazing closer. It's their best closer.
I like to be wowed. I like to be caught off guard. I like a good twist.
We'll talk about why it's the best closer too. We'll talk about why it's the best closer on the main episode.
I like a good twist. But yeah, Bettsville Crucible, super solid. Illusion of Safety, fantastic album. Go.
Okay, I think one of my illusions, because I have 2 illusions, and I think
that's right, you do.
I do, and one of them, I think the original one I bought is an OG pressing.
Oh, I'll take that one.
I think it is. Well, no, because I want it.
well,
and the only reason why I bought the repress last year was because it has the bonus song. It has that hideous strength.
Oh, you gotta have the bonus song though. Yeah, you gotta have the bonus song.
Have you heard that song?
No, but you have to have the bonus song. Therefore, I will take the OG.
No, I don't remember if it's an OG. I have to double check.
You're not opposed to it though.
I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, here we go. We may have a trade going on.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. So, never mind.
Yeah.
I think you know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I've almost done that.
No, we're both chomping at the bit to fucking say it, but we're not going to say it.
I know. And it's never mind. I want to talk about it so bad.
Yes.
Anyway, because it's so exciting for me. Even though, yeah. So my number 5 is Artist in the Ambulance Revisited. from
wow,
this
that
year,
is fucking
2023.
high.
I mean, the songs are so good that they do sound very different from the OG, but the songs are so fucking amazing. It's just like you gotta put it higher than most re-recorded records. I do get it does sound like more like modern Thrice. The tempos are a tiny bit slower than the original, but the overall quality sound, the sound, the mix, and everything like that, I feel is much better than the original artist. I do like the drier drum sounds, the louder, more bombastic drum sounds. I think the guitar tone is significantly better than artist, and that's even when when artist came out, I always had an issue, especially with the guitar tones. I felt like they sounded so, they didn't sound real. It didn't sound crunchy, really. It was just, it seemed like a fake crunch, like a fake distortion. But I feel like from a production and mixing standpoint, they nailed it on the re-recording. I do think it was a cool idea to have, their friends come in and sing some of the songs with them. I thought that was really neat because a lot of bands wouldn't do that. And
That's cute.
It was cool. And it wasn't just like friends from like back in the day. Like they had the guy from Holy Fawn, which is a really cool band too, but they're a new band and Thrice is kind of like taking them under their wing and taking them on tour and all that kind of stuff. So they came in, I think he sang Silhouette with them, but, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really cool re-recording. The artwork was tastefully done. I think it's really good. I really enjoy it. So, and I have it on vinyl, of course, because I'm a schmuck.
Sure.
But, yeah, artist revisited. I'll get into my banger when I talk about artists later. So
that's fine.
What do you got for number 4?
Here we go, baby. Here's the top. Here's the final 4. Here's the stuff that like fucking still wows me. I love this. It's so good.
I can't believe you have not said Air and Earth yet. That is
dude. Air and Earth, Alchemy Index, Volume 3 and 4. This is it, man. This is fucking fantastic. I like these a lot, dude. I fucking like every time I listen to these. I may be biased because we do have these in the vinyls now, and it's just it's a different experience having to sit down, having to flip it, looking at the booklet. Dude, there's so much info in the booklet.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a great presentation, a great product.
As opposed to like listening to it at the gym when you're doing other things, when you're trying not to fucking fall on the treadmill. You know what I mean? There's a whole different like ball game. So I will say like sitting down with these and really digging in made this better. These like this one specifically has gotten better. It's still not obviously it's not as good as Fire and Water, but what separates Air and Water, because they're very, very similar in like presentation, and they sound very similar because the differences are subtle, easily missed, but Air has a lot of parts of silence. There's some riffs that are choppy and they allow for pauses between the parts, unlike Water, where Water is sound cheesy, but it's very fluid. Like the riffs just flow together from one to the other. There's never any like staccato parts. It's just very fluid. So that's a very, very subtle like nuance that separates the two. They're very similar. I get it. But that's cool. Like, that's cool, man. That's a cool thing, like to do. Like Air. Why is this Air? Why is this airy? What makes this different than Water? Oh, because there's a lot of silence in this. There's a lot of like negative space. I like that. Silver Wings, dude, that's a good Air closer. Really drove like the theme home. It set up Earth perfectly, and like that's a fucking great closer. Not their best, but that's a great closer. And then like Earth. Dude, I really like Earth. I like Earth part a lot more this time around.
Earth is my least favorite for sure.
The first time, like, I also didn't really like it that much. It was like, I either choose the acoustic thing or don't. Like, what makes this Earth? Like, I like the acoustic thing being like a down to basics, right? Like going back to the Earth, just an acoustic guitar, no electronics, but then there are electronic stuff. So whatever. But it's fun. It's fun hitting like the acoustic bass Earth, and it's super rad, especially since we started with the hyper aggressive Fire. We get back to the Earth. Like I don't know. It's good. It's cohesive and it works. I like it a lot. Come all you weary. Dude, his voice, his melody.
Oh my God. I hate that song.
That's a fucking perfect song for Dustin.
I hate that song.
I would pay money just to see him play that song live. That is a perfect fucking song for him.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe you like that song.
Dude, Air and Earth. That's some unreal shit.
That is to me, that is the worst song that they've done from their first record and through to Beggars.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tough Shot. Here's the thing, okay?
Tough Shot.
Here's the thing.
You meant to
Here's
say
the
Hot
thing.
Shot.
Here's the thing, Hot Shot. Here's the thing. When you put out something called Fire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what that's going to be. It's going to be fast, aggressive, and loud. When you put out something called like Air and Earth, it's tougher. You've already dug a hole that it's going to be hard to get out of. When you put out something like Fire, like come on, dude, like this, we know what it's going to sound like. Thrice, we've heard you done Fire before. So I don't know, they're already taking a gamble on the Air and the Earth part, and I think they did it really, really well. Fire is going to be easy. Any fucking band that has already put out 4 albums prior that is Fire sounding, not like as a kid say Fire, but Fire sounding. They've already set themselves up. It's easy. It's low hanging fruit. Still really, really good because it's ranked above my 4, but we know what we're getting ourselves into here. With Air and Earth, they had more to prove.
Okay.
They had more to prove.
I agree with you there. They did have more to prove because they've been primarily a heavy band. But still, it doesn't make for a great record. Or EPs or whatever you want.
Dude, you're absolutely nuts. This was your least. You ranked this the last.
Yeah, I did.
That's stupid. That's just, dude, come on. Over Palms, which had
outside
no
of the
fucking
sky
energy.
Is falling. Yeah, outside of
Major Minor,
falling.
which I don't even know what the fuck that sounded like, to be honest. To Be Everywhere is To Be Nowhere, which had no personality. You're telling me Air and Earth at least like try to do something different, and for the most part executed
It was
that.
just so boring, if not bad. Like with Come All You Weary.
But it's
Like,
called
that's just a
Air and
bad
fucking
song.
Earth, dude. Like,
Okay,
it's going to be boring. That's the point of it.
I don't want to listen to a boring record.
The difference
That's
was
why
like
it's so low.
was like Major and Minor was boring and it didn't try to be boring. Palms was
Exactly.
boring and it didn't try to be boring.
Exactly.
Like, that's sad. They're trying to be boring, achieve that score. Palms and Major Minor, To Be Everywhere is To Be Nowhere. Those all weren't trying to be boring.
I don't
boring,
care.
And you rated them higher.
In this instance, I don't care. I don't care if they whether or not they tried to be boring. It's boring. It makes no fucking difference to me.
Stupid. It's dumb.
It's not stupid. If it's boring, that's fucking
If they're
boring.
all boring to you, why would you not like at least choose the one to be the best of the boring, the one that tried to be boring and was boring?
Because why would I do that? Because I don't care. It's just I didn't like it then, and it's never grown on me. It has never grown on me for when did it come out? 2008, fucking 15 years ago.
Silly.
It still has never ever grown on me outside of the one song. Never.
Why do you hate "Come All You Weary"? Like, I love the way he says that too.
Dude, that's
like
the worst
rasp
part.
in his voice. Like, oh, so
that's
good.
the worst part.
That's so.
Because it
good.
sounds like he's saying like Riri. Like he can't say. It's already a word that's very difficult to say.
Weary.
I feel.
Yeah, weary.
weird.
Well, now that I say it
weird,
out loud, it sounds weird. Yes.
It sounds weird when you say
weary.
it. And it sounds weird when it sounds like he's saying like it sounds like he has a speech impediment.
So weird. Why does it sound weird? Weary.
It does.
It does sound like
always bothered me.
It sounds like you're saying like WRERY, Riri,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't like that word.
I don't either, and that's what I hated so much about it when it came out.
Oh God, I hope I don't listen to that now and hear that. That's gonna.
You're gonna hear it every.
That's gonna be
fucking
devastating.
time.
That will devastate. That will devastate me for reals.
I'm telling you, that's what it sounds weird when he sings it. Always has, and it's never grown on me. And I think that is the worst song they put out up through 2009. But anyway,
Wow.
0-2. My number 4 is Visu. Their album from 2005. We already talked about it a bit because you ranked it so low. It's another really, really transitional record. I mean, I was not expecting this record when it came out. You actually were there when they played a new song from this record at Bamboozle. When we saw them at Bamboozle, they played "The Earth Will Shake" for the first time ever. The first time they've ever played any songs from Visu, and I remember thinking, well, okay, this song is really cool, but it's not what I want from Thrice. Like after coming off of Artist and hearing how fucking amazing that record is, you get "The Earth Will Shake." It was weird. But then eventually, once you hear that song within the context of the record, it's fantastic. It's amazing. And I do understand what you mean where, Visu does, I don't want to say drop off.
It tapers
but
off,
definitely,
though, for sure.
It loses a bit of its momentum, for sure. But even some of the later songs, like one of my bangers this week is "Stand and Feel Your Worth." It's a slower, more kind of atmospheric song for the most part, but there are some really intense, heavy moments in there. Some, like, as stupid as it is, but we like these little nuances where you can hear him, you can hear his fingers dragging on the strings and then going into the big fucking chord there. Just little things like that in that song I feel are fantastic, and the passion in his voice is amazing in that song. Atlantic is another banger too. It's a slower, more electronic song. That was a song too that they had never kind of dabbled in before, that kind of that genre, and Atlantic is fantastic. Love that song.
Because Image of the Invisible is just, it's so perfect.
It's a great song.
Like it never catches up to that momentum. But it like tries. It tries to do that. And I agree. Like Atlantic is a dope song. Like there's a lot of cool things here that they could have went a different direction. But it always seemed like they tried to go back to the Fire Thrice sound, the Image of the Invisible Thrice sound. And it's like, that song is too perfect. That song is like too great for you to ever like top it. And it's the opener. Yeah. So don't try and do it. Go somewhere else with it. And that's why I think that the album just never recuperated from it, is because they were trying to recapture that pacing. They're trying to recapture that sound, and they just didn't need to. They can do other fucking sounds. Like I love Earth and Air. They don't need to do the Image of the Invisible the entire time. They could went a different direction. But I think they always tried to go back to the first track, and just it never, like none of these songs are better than Image of the Invisible. Like one-on-one, head-to-head. If we did like a head-to-head thing,
might be right. Yeah,
Image would win. Image would fucking win.
Yeah, I think objectively you're right. It's just, this is a record that I've heard so many times where, you know, at certain periods of time, I'll have a different favorite song, you know, just depending on my mood or the time. So, but I think, objectively, Image of the Invisible is probably the best.
Just from like the Morse code opening, dude. Like,
yeah. It's pretty fucking sick.
It's
pretty sick.
So stupid. Like, that's so stupid. It wasn't even until like recently, like the whole like Rush YYZ like Morse code thing too. Like it's all so stupid. These little things that just go under the wayside for fucking so long are just so dumb. But damn, that makes them great.
Oh man. All right. So what do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is The Alchemy Index, volumes 1 and 2, Fire and Water.
Fire and Water.
Fire and Water. So, like, Fire's great. Fire's perfect. But, like, you know what you're getting yourself into. You know Fire's going to match the theme. You know it's going to be fast. Like I said earlier, aggressive and loud and hard. Because they've done it 4 times before this. Yeah. We know that. The Arsonist from Fire, dude, fucking so good. Banger. Fucking That's banger of a song.
I'll just say it. This is my number 3 as well.
Dude,
so we're on the same level.
What a ride, dude. Like the quiet parts that build to like huge drops, a lot of cool drum rolls, man. That's all you fucking need. But it's safe. Yeah. It is safe. It's safe thrice.
It's safe. But I will say with Fire, the way that they kind of mix that was just this wall of sound. That entire EP is this wall of sound. So there's no break really, unless everything kind of stops. There's no break. Even like the electronic parts too.
Yeah.
Like they're loud. It's not it's not like, you know, on Digital C where it's kind of subdued, like Postal Service Radiohead style. You know, even the electronic parts are fucking just loud as fuck. And that's what I love about it. It's just like to go along with the theme, it's like being engulfed in flames, you know, like there's no,
like you're drowning in lava.
Drowning. Yeah, you're drowning in lava. There's no oxygen, there's no space for anything else. And I like how they were able to convey that just through the music. It's a remarkable EP.
Because
really is. But Water is better. I agree with you. Water is better.
Because it's safe. And that doesn't mean it's bad or good or anything. It's safe. And anytime anybody provokes or tries to do like anger in like music, it's easy because like that's such a basic fucking emotion, right? Do like a more complex emotion like empathy or envy or something. You know what I mean? Like,
how are you gonna do empathy?
Question
or envy?
Me. Exactly. Challenge the listener. We're not getting challenged with Fire. Water is for sure the better of the two. I fucking love it. You mentioned Digital C. That is my fucking banger on this one.
That is my banger too. Yeah.
That is an unreal fucking opener, dude. It sets the pacing for the album perfectly. Mm-hmm. It's a little choppy in its delivery, but it finds itself and it gets like this fluid groove going. And it's like, okay, now I understand. So it's a bridge between like Fire and aggressive, and it kind of like chops up a little bit. Like you imagine like waves like crashing, right? And then like a calm sea. and that's what like Water eventually gets into. And like, my God, how they open and close Water is just it's fucking
incredible.
night and day.
The song Open Water too.
Oh my God,
It's just, oh my God, it's amazing. The atmosphere that they created on that EP is incredible. It's like taking what Radiohead did, but made it more nuanced. No, maybe not more nuanced is not the right word. They expanded on it. They made it sound bigger. Like, because Radiohead is just there's a lot of detail in there. There's a lot going on with Radiohead, but it never really explodes into something massive. But that's what you get with Water. There are moments where the build is so slow, but once you reach that peak, it's just unreal. It's so fucking good. I think Water is amazing. And then the end of Digital C2, the way it's kind of like glitching out, it's a little bit cheesy, but it works for the record. It sounds like he's singing underwater. He's singing through that filter. And even when I saw them live during this era, they played mostly stuff off of the Alchemy Index at the House of Blues, and they released a DVD of it too, and we were at that show, and literally Dustin came out and they had to like reset up the stage to do the Alchemy stuff because it's so electronic, and so that he was like actually singing through looked like a walkie-talkie kind of thing, and that's how he was singing through it.
Dude, the stage at the House of Blues in Anaheim was so fucking big.
It was, it's a big stage.
They still needed to like reset the stage?
Yeah.
It's fucking chodes. It's a huge stage.
It is, yeah. Well, the new one is even bigger.
Yeah, it's
you haven't
massive.
even been to the new House of Blues, or have you?
I have been in. Yeah, it's on Pennywise there.
All right. Oh, that's right. You did see Pennywise there. But anyway, I don't know. Alchemy Index, Fire and Water, amazing,
fantastic,
amazing. So what's your? I think our 2 and 1 are. I think we're at the same point now.
And it's funny because like my number 2 is Artist, and I mean we did a whole episode on Artist, and
yeah, I mean it was so deep, such a deep dive.
That's like really what like got me really into it. Was when we did Artist, right? I was still in California, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
Then what did we do when I was in California?
We did Identity Crisis.
So that was a lost episode.
It was a lost episode, yeah. It was like the week before you moved to Arizona. I remember because we recorded it in your garage. It was in the middle of summer. It was hot as fucking balls, but we couldn't record inside because Sloan was sleeping, or Sloan was in his room. And then Tammy was over, so the dogs were going crazy. Rupert was there. You know, we're like nowhere to record, so we just ended up recording in the garage.
We'll record on the moon, in the moon, on Mount Everest, and the Mariana Trench.
Mariana Trench, yeah.
Mariana Trench. We'll record anyway. We don't care.
I just remember it was so fucking hot that we ended up just cutting the episode off early because we were just sweating. It was just miserable.
Yeah,
but it's a lost episode. You'll never be able to find it. Lost forever.
We did Artist. So at some point you can check that one out. We got really into it, but it's just this is like objectively probably their best album. Like this is where they tried the hardest. This is where they all were really clicking and writing music together as a band that they've never done before. They never did beforehand. We'll get into obviously my number 1's Identity Crisis, but there's just. Like, this is it, dude. This is the best thing they've ever done as a band, as a whole. It's not as innocent sounding as Identity Crisis is. But like I said, we did the whole episode. Listen to that. I don't want to get too much into it, but Hoods on Peregrine. Dude, Tepe just like, he just rips it up the entire fucking time, man. It's just like, it's just him playing a bunch of like rad lead parts. A lot of noodling, meaningful noodling. Not just Omar noodling, meaningful noodling.
Hey, watch
and it's super good. God damn, this album's fucking good. And when I'm going backwards and I'm listening to like artists, I'm like, damn, that's a fucking good album. Like, holy shit, Illusion of Safety. and then when Identity Crisis first stops, we'll get into the episode though. Good lord, when that first like part of Identity Crisis started.
I know exactly what part you're talking about too.
It's like, well, exactly what part. Like, well, this is their best.
There it is.
Okay,
there it is.
Oh, so good.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It gets me every time. So yeah, Artist is also my number 2. This is I would agree with you too. This could be objectively their best album, but there's just something about Identity Crisis, the craziness of it that I love, and which we'll get into later. But yeah, Artist is where they really kind of realize, oh, we could actually write songs with really awesome parts. Like this is where the songwriting came first, and then they added like just the cool moments, the cool parts. Where prior to that, it was the complete opposite. And this is the second time they worked with Brendan McTiernan, up in fucking Massachusetts, somewhere in New England. I don't even fucking know. Middle of nowhere, a barn. They were there for like 3 months, like sheltered in place in the winter because they couldn't go out because it was snowing. You know, it's just like this was their life, was recording this record, writing and record. They wrote it and recorded it there. So and I think that's so rad. Just bands just don't do that anymore. And but no, artists in general, I agree with you too. With Tepe's shredding, it's so perfectly done, so perfectly placed, and he absolutely rips it up the entire record. Right now, my favorite song is Under a Killing Moon, the second track. I mean, it just Cold Cash is a great song, but once you get into Under a Killing Moon, it shreds so much harder, so much fucking harder. It's heavier, well, maybe not heavier, but it shreds harder, and the melodies are better, and it's just an incredible song, an incredible record. And like I mentioned earlier, some of the low points of it are some of the production of it. I felt like the distortion on the guitars was a little weird, and then some of the drum tones too I wasn't really into. But otherwise, it's incredible. Stare at the Sun, that bass line, forget about it.
So good.
You know, it's amazing. And also that chorus in Stare at the Sun, I think it's one of the catchiest things it's the catchiest thing on the record, for sure. I love singing along to that chorus. So yeah, Artist is my number 2. Go listen to the episode we did a couple years ago.
Is it there?
I'll repost it eventually, because it's part of the new format. It's just I'm slowly adding the old episodes back. So
like if we talk about like an episode that they should listen to,
I should put it up, huh?
Yeah, put that at the top of your list of uploads.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Not that we get paid for this fucking shit. It's, you know, to do it anyway. Who cares? But fuck everybody else that doesn't listen to it. I don't care. But yeah, put it at the top of your list.
I will. I'll just repost it this week. I can do it. I just was kind of going in order. But
which makes sense.
Who cares though?
Yeah.
Who cares? Honestly, who cares? So,
all we care about is everybody fuck Spotify. I'm now on the Bandcamp of fucking Spotify. I don't fuck them. Don't care.
And fuck Universal Music Group. Really fuck them. Really,
for sure.
Really
fuck them 40 years ago. Absolutely.
All right. So Identity Crisis is obviously our number 1. So go listen to that episode. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. So that's it. That's all.
Jeffy.